So this complex dynamic that gets created in those particular situations is that this masculine feels irresistibly drawn to your essence, your energy, your light, because they can sense that something is, the word different comes out as cliche as it sounds to simply say something about you is so different. That may be how a lot of these masculines actually perceive your energy. They may not even really have the vocabulary yet to articulate why they're feeling so drawn to you, but the word that comes out is different, special, rare. Some of these words, in fact, may have been used with you throughout the course of your connection, although they may not necessarily have been spoken aloud. These could be sentiments that were also felt but not verbally communicated by the masculine that is coming through here. So I don't typically start with the Starseed Oracle deck. I just saw the number 333. That is a very strong number of alignment, particularly when it comes to indicating that there is very strong spiritual presence around you at this time. I keep seeing eyes, like someone looking at you, someone focused on you. And the first cards to come out here are cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. So the masculine coming through this particular reading is feeling very much as though they are at some kind of rock bottom, either literally in their life or emotionally. However, this experience is also cracking them open. It is essentially a form of ego death, which is a natural stage in the spiritual awakening process, and one that I'm sure you as a divine feminine listening are very familiar with. We also have deep cellular healing. I feel that at deep unconscious levels within this particular masculine, there is a shift taking place that my guides are actually referring to here as a healing. So let's use this as a little bit of a jumping off point for the reading here. By the way, if you are resonating with my energy already, I do invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. I do say this quite often in videos, but truly by being present here and now, whatever the now is for you, whatever timeline you're on, actually is actively co-creating the reading as it is being channeled here. So thank you for your presence here energetically and for your role in that co-creation and building this truly beautiful, mutually supportive, uplifting space here on YouTube. So I'm starting now with the traditional tarot, circling back to this deep cellular healing card that I feel connecting with the masculine energy coming through here very strongly. Okay, so I feel that this particular masculine does certain things and hearing acts out when they are feeling in vulnerability, when they have a sense of self-doubt. It's almost like they turn to something to boost their sense of confidence in themselves that might actually cause the divine feminine here some kind of pain or be a detriment to the feminine. I feel like this is, I'm hearing unconscious reaching for something to fill a void. So for a masculine I'm channeling here, it may be that, by the way, whatever this is something that you, divine feminine, are consciously aware of, or your intuition has been very much aware of with the high priestess energy. I feel like what this masculine truly desires in his heart is to become the emperor that can match your high priestess energy, because here we have the high priestess, the 10 of cups, a massive card of stability. This can even be a card of marriage, two people coming together in a harmonious, very long-term, consistent, stable relationship. And then the Emperor, representing what this masculine wants to become, and the potential to become that emperor is within him, which is why you, divine feminine, can sense this potential. You can sense that the two of you, when you are in your high priestess energy, and if this masculine were to fully embody his emperor energy, you can sense that this would make for a very powerful alliance, a coming together represented by the Ten of Cups. However, with the Strength card reversed, sitting on the sacral chakra, I feel as though the masculine here in human form is... the word inadequate is coming out here, like feeling inadequate. Even though you, divine feminine, are able to fully see this masculine's true potential, you can see him in his emperor energy, and you even get flashes and glimpses of that, really what is his true self, his innermost self. But simultaneously, it seems as though in the past, or possibly in the present for some of you, this particular masculine has acted in ways that were almost like coping mechanisms to build an artificial sense of self-confidence because of a feeling of being inadequate, of not being able to match your energy. I'm hearing you being too good for him. It's like this fear that you, divine feminine, in your power are too good for him. And that fear of abandonment, essentially, is what sometimes pushes this masculine to take actions from his unconscious self that may cause you, divine feminine, quite a bit of emotional pain here. And I'm hearing confusion. It's almost confusing connecting with this person, because every time you feel yourself really wanting to go all in here, wanting to throw your heart into this person, I believe this triggers that fear of not being good enough for you that is already within them, and causes them again to act in certain ways that confuse your intuition or cause you some kind of emotional pain. I keep getting that this may have to do with pursuing third parties. This may be trying to seek validation from other more shallow feminine energies. And when I use the words shallow and deep, I don't mean them in any kind of a cross-comparative derogatory sense. I simply mean that when it comes to the connection that the two of you share, there is so much depth that any other connection to this masculine is perceived by him as being shallow. So I hope that that's a clarifier for someone here. But I want to know more about what this masculine is thinking or feeling at this time. Why does this masculine pull away? I heard immediately, I pull away because I'm scared. What are they scared of? What is this masculine afraid of? The world. Showing my true self to the world. It's almost like this particular masculine is afraid of getting exactly the fulfillment on all levels that they desire, which I know sounds really, really strange, but it's actually a very common fear amongst those who aren't yet fully awake spiritually and fully to a place where they've integrated their shadow aspects enough, their unconscious aspects enough, that they are able to align with very high states of soul fulfillment. This masculine is afraid of that kind of fulfillment because there is a worthiness wound here that's coming up in the sacral chakra. Once again, that vulnerability, that self-doubt. And here we have the Seven of Pentacles upright. And the Two of Pentacles reversed. So the strange thing is here, I'm hearing won't go away. Either this connection won't go away, maybe this particular masculine seems to keep coming back again, or this connection keeps coming back again. I'm hearing like it won't go away, but it won't move forward. And that is putting a divine feminine here in a very challenging position where it's almost like this masculine is incapable of letting you go or letting you move on. It's like they don't want to see you move on to anyone else, and yet they themselves don't feel good enough for you. And for whoever I'm speaking to here, you are very much aware of this dynamic. I am not telling you anything new here. I feel that for the person this message is for, This is something that you've been sensing. It's almost like a roller coaster dynamic here where you will feel on such a high with this person and then all of a sudden it just seems to drop off out of nowhere. And here I am getting off the roller coaster. It feels like for Divine Feminine here, you are done with this dynamic. You've felt restricted by it, or you felt it triggering some of your own past wounded energy that it's almost like those wounds are being triggered, but they're no longer within you. I hope this makes sense. This is so strange. It's almost like this masculine's triggering behavior is actually triggering a past version of yourself on a lower timeline that you've already risen out of. So it's almost like this higher version of yourself that you've become can recognize that this behavior would be very triggering to you or would have been very triggering to you. But now it's almost as though you just have no interest in engaging with it because you know that in order to engage in 3D with that behavior, you would have to lower yourself to a lower vibrational timeline and you are no longer willing to do that. But I do feel as though there is some sadness because with Happy Family reversed, you can sense that there is a huge potential here for that 10 of Cups energy, for a lot of mutual fulfillment. For some reason, I'm getting from someone's guides that this particular masculine may communicate with you very strongly through music, specifically through song lyrics. So even if this person themselves doesn't necessarily share songs with you or isn't necessarily a musician, when you hear particular songs, specifically certain lyrics from the songs, you might actually feel their energy being transmitted through the words. That is not a coincidence. That is not a delusion. That is you actually being able to, in a sense, telepathically pick up on this masculine's true thoughts and feelings through certain song lyrics that are like synchronicities that you align with in these perfect ways. However, with the Goddess of the Moon here and Happy Family reversed, it's almost as though you had to sacrifice a temporary connection or coming together with this masculine in the moment in order to remain in your power. What I mean by that is, it's not like there is no potential for this connection to come together, shifting into the future, but it's like you had to drop or let go or surrender the idea of an immediate reunion physically with this person in order to remain fully empowered. Now, only you can know if that resonates or exactly why that would be for you, but I do feel that for many Divine Feminines listening, the necessity to release or surrender immediate physical outcomes here came because the way that this masculine was behaving from that worthiness wound was triggering you back to, it's almost like those triggers were trying to pull you back into a lower vibration version of yourself that would have felt insecure or would have questioned their own worth. But again, it's almost like you're not doing that anymore, but you can sense that if you were to fully engage with that behavior, you would have to lower yourself to that level, if that makes sense. I know that this is a bit complicated, but as I say with all my readings, really hope that for someone who's already been experiencing this dynamic, this is a sort of confirmation for you. The number 4 or the month of April may be significant to someone. Here we have door to personal healing and happiness in the reverse position. And I feel this card saying two people here are healing and shifting very much on their own from a physical perspective while sharing a spiritual bond that has a lot of longevity to it. So I want to reshuffle the cards here, and because this masculine's mindset and feelings are so complex, I actually want to read into what they're really thinking and feeling towards you, Divine Feminine. So how they are perceiving you. Now, right as I was channeling all of that, I'm picking up that you, Divine Feminine, may have friends or family members, people around you that love and care about you. They might be saying that if they're making you confused, then that's your answer. They might be saying that you're reading too much into this person or into this situation and you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And this could add another layer of complexity, because the thing with these situations I'm channeling here is you aren't being crazy. You aren't being delusional. I know that's a blunt way of saying it, but it's like you are actually picking up on things that are happening on multiple different levels, spiritually speaking. And those who can't perceive what's happening in the higher levels and the more energetic based levels will refer to you as crazy or delusional, or won't be able to perceive what you're capable of perceiving. This may actually be a theme in your life as well. This ability to perceive into these other realms, to read energy in a very accurate way, may lead you into trouble sometimes, because you can't always use physical language or physical observations to justify or rationalize what you are perceiving at these other levels. It's almost like you have a sense, like we have our five senses, and people talk about the sixth sense being like your intuition, your emotions, but I feel almost as though you have like this seventh sense beyond even just a gut feeling, that is like pure spiritual knowing, that is like the ability to see and hear and feel energy. And people don't always understand that. In fact, they rarely understand that. And so it can be challenging for you to explain why you feel or know something that your heart knows. And I actually feel as though at this point on your spiritual path, and I do apologize, I know we're going on a bit of a detour here, but your guides, someone's guides, really want me to take this detour and share this information, which is part of your spiritual journey at this time, is coming to terms with the fact that you are going to be misunderstood by those who can't perceive what you can perceive, those who don't have those higher level senses, those who are not able to read energy the way that you can. And I feel that in the past, you may have tried to explain yourself to these others. And at this point, you are being guided to come to peace within yourself, to come to peace with who you are, to be able to know what you know, no longer feeling the need to rationalize or justify or defend or explain yourself to anyone. And that is really helping you ground yourself in and find and cultivate a lot more inner peace at this time as well, which is stabilizing your very powerful energy in a way that is helping you to manifest more of your desires into physical reality, because you are maintaining that groundedness about you, that sense of inner peace and calm and connectedness, confident connectedness with what you know and who you are. So I don't know who that was for, but what I will say is, with rest and rejuvenation reversed, sitting on the sacral chakra, for you, Divine Feminine, as well, someone listening here may at times at night find these triggers coming up from, again, that masculine that you may be connecting with, who is wounded in his own sacral chakra, who might be seeking external validation from either other feminine energies or seeking to fill a void through other things in his life. I feel that particularly it's almost like waves of telepathy come through about that whole triggering, specifically at night. And this could even lead to increased feelings of anxiety at night. For some, this even could look like panic attacks. This could feel like I'm seeing someone almost getting like a sick feeling to their stomach or in their gut late at night because of the energy that you're picking up on around this situation. With indecision upright, sitting on the solar plexus chakra, I feel as though there is some kind of a choice to be made here, and it's almost as though you're not sure which direction to go. But I feel your guide saying that you will know which way to go because the right choice will feel good in your solar plexus, in what we sometimes refer to as the gut. It will feel aligned with you. It will give you a boost of confidence, of excitement. It will feel like following the flow of energy. If a certain direction is making you feel tired, lethargic, low energy, low confidence, then that could be an indication from your own intuition that that is not the correct direction to take for you at this time. Of course, using terms like correct, incorrect, etc. is very black and white for this kind of quantum level conversation, as of course all of you listening here know. There's really no right or wrong here. It's only what is more aligned with your desires at the soul level and what is more misaligned with those unique desires. And those feelings will indicate to you your level of alignment with your desires. So when you are feeling a sense of energy flowing, excitement, a boost in your confidence, that can be a very powerful sign that you are moving in a direction that is very much in alignment with the grander vision of your life that you've been holding. I will say that some loneliness has been coming up in all of this, with community in the reverse position, sitting on the heart and hearing my heart is lonely. Why is there a divine feminine feeling lonely here? Because I know my value and worth. Okay, this is a very strange message, but it's almost like, okay, someone here is lonely because they know their worth. But what I mean by this is someone knows the worth of their energy, of their peace, and they aren't willing to connect with other people platonically or romantically simply for the sake of not being alone, simply for the sake of having a connection. You are prioritizing your own peace, seeing the value of that inner peace, seeing the value of your time and energy, and you aren't willing to give that time or energy to something that isn't equally giving back to you. However, that puts you in a very rare circle of people on the planet, in a sense. It's like you are on a timeline that is so high vibrational because it's matching your high vibrational energy, that although physically you may be surrounded with many other physical beings, there are very few who are matched to you at this time energetically. I would love to include more information on this in future videos on timelines. This is one phenomenon that comes up when we have this conversation on timelines and how our frequency matches us to particular timelines, because there are very strong but low vibrational collective timelines that a strong majority of unconscious people will be aligned with. And when you begin to raise your frequency and your vibration and align with these higher vibrational timelines, it can actually put you in a position where you can also at times feel a kind of soul loneliness, because there's an awareness that although you are physically sharing the planet with many others, there are not as many that are aligned with those higher vibrational timelines that you yourself are now tapped into. I know that sounds very strange, but for many of you, this is your reality. This is something you've been experiencing for years, or even for some of you decades now, since you've been going through this awakening process. And know that nothing is going wrong in all of that, and that you are making very courageous choices when it comes to not lowering your vibration simply for the sake of filling a void, or simply for the sake of having a physical connection. That you are preserving yourself for what is truly going to align with you and therefore be able to give to you in a reciprocated way. Because if something isn't aligned with you energetically, you can connect with it, but it isn't capable of giving to you in a reciprocated way. That felt like a really powerful download for someone. Often, even when someone wants to connect with us, they will not be able to give to us in an equal way, and not because there's any ill intent on the part of that person, simply because energetically speaking, we are on very different frequency levels. So when someone's on a very different frequency level from you, it automatically creates an imbalanced connection at times in the physical world. And it happens in a very unconscious way. I feel that many divine feminines listening here have absolutely experienced this in one way or another. With adjacent possibilities reversed, you are really beginning to solidify yourself on a particular path from a very high level standpoint, regardless of how this specifically applies to you. This is a path of remaining connected to your intuition, trusting that in the moment guidance, keeping an open third eye chakra. This is solidifying you on a path that is very high vibrational, that is very much in alignment with many grand manifestations that are starting to make their way into your life. And of course, we can't channel into the divine feminine's energy without sharing that the masculine we've been channeling at the beginning of this reading, or perhaps for some of you, this is someone different. These are just energies, so they can connect with multiple physical people, with one specific person, or even to your internal divine masculine essence, because we all do have a balance of both energies. But once again, we have that card, the envy card, representing a lack of fulfillment or feeling unfulfilled, feeling left out in some way. But then Healer of the Ages, it's like that feeling of void is actually meant to push the masculine here within themselves into illuminating and integrating those shadow aspects that may have prevented connection consistently between the two of you in the past. The interesting thing about the way that this reading has turned is I meant to read into the thoughts and feelings specifically of the masculine, but my guides immediately led me into a deep dive of your energy, divine feminine. And I feel the reason for this is because they felt it was beneficial to first ground you into what is happening in your own energetic field, to then put whatever the masculine here is thinking or feeling, to put that more into a clear perspective. So I'm just going to read a short guidebook message here. Love brings the sea into boiling and turns the mountain into a pebble. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shudders the earth with its magnitude. Rumi. She spins, this great earth goddess, upon invisible strings amongst a wild, pulsating ballet of life. Stars are born, live and die all around her. Life moves in constant flux, and still she spins in her great, loving, constant pirouette. How can this be? All of creation is born from nothing. Out of endless silence and darkness, light emerges. What strange magic is this? The sun beats the solar system. The sun heats the solar system and burns with power to destroy life. Yet it is a force by which life is sustained. Surely this makes no sense and cannot be. We dance in the realm of the impossible made possible constantly, you and I. We are so engrossed in it, so familiar with it, and yet blind to it, that these constant impossibilities happening in every moment never fail to inspire us. We only limit what we believe to be possible by our lack of imagination. The divine has recourse to all that is and all that is yet to be. Is there any limit to the resources of the heavens? No. So then, why has not every impossible dream now been rendered possible, indeed, manifest in shining glory upon the earth? So now you are being guided by this loving power to drop the doubt, shed the incredulity, and open up the mind. Allow your imagination to be inspired. The universe wants something to happen for you, something beautiful, something utterly improbable, and something perfect for your path, your own unique divine destiny. Your mind will wonder if it is possible. People around you may wonder the same thing, but your heart will burn for it to become real, to become more than a fantastic, improbable dream. When your heart is much more powerful than your mind, you won't unintentionally block the incredible grace of manifestation, seeking to pour into your thirsty soul like the sweetest, purest waters of blessing.